Hi, I'm Trevor, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at the ancient pre-Columbian Mesoamerican crystal skulls. So there's been a lot of controversy both in the New Age world and amongst scientists regarding these skulls and what they mean and what they were used for. So stick around, I'm going to show you what we as Mayans did with these crystal skulls in ancient times. And so a lot of these crystal skulls were looted from Mesoamerica, and they now find themselves in museums around the world and in private collections. So the scientific community in the British Museum and the Smithsonian Museum conducted tests on these crystal skulls, and only to find that there wasn't any way that the ancient Mesoamericans could make these crystal skulls. So using electron microscopes, they determined that these skulls were crafted through advanced machinery. So they determined that they were fake, and but now we know that a lot of ancient artifacts, a lot of ancient megaliths and structures were tooled by ancient technology, ancient machinery. So it's just strange that they can determine that this is fake. To create this kind of a narrative as they normally do. The scientists determined that these crystal skulls were manufactured in Germany in whatever century. But yes, maybe some were manufactured, but they are real artifacts, huge ancient crystal skulls that are many thousands of years old. The quartz crystal, they make it from clear quartz or milky quartz, and these quartz crystals alone are somewhere in the vicinity of 100 million years old, plus minus, depending on the area where they come from. So in ancient times, in the temples, so you've got to realize here, the temples are purified, it's the correct setting, it's very dark, and you've purified yourself through fasting and through a proper diet. Now you enter the ceremony for a specific ritual to communicate with your ancestors, to communicate with your spirit guides, or to communicate with the ancient beings or gods or the higher beings in the higher worlds. So how did we do this? So the crystal skull, firstly you must know, when the third eye is open, no crystal is a solid object. It's what they call motion. So those molecules are constantly moving around. So when you see a crystal that is still living with your third eye open, the crystal's actually moving. So this also brings me to the point, when your third eye is open and you look at plants, you can see the plants moving, they're in motion. So you can actually see the life behind all these forms that are not trapped in how we see it from a physical perspective. So understanding this, we had these crystal skulls that were in our ancient temples, and they were covered with a cloth and they were protected. So when your third eye was open, either through natural clairvoyance or whatever techniques were used, and even using plants. So once you had consumed certain plants, and you found yourself facing this crystal skull in a darkened room, that there wasn't a reflection on the skull itself, you were to focus on the crystal intently, one-pointedly, like you were meditating or gazing at this crystal as if in a trance. And as your third eye opens, you are now trying to channel and communicate with a higher entity from another world. So as you look at this crystal, you start to see the face of either a being from the spirit world or a higher being from the higher worlds that is superimposing or using this crystal as a focal point. Remember, the crystal itself does have energy. We know it as the piezoelectric effect. So all cell phones, satellites, TVs, radios, all technology work with crystal chips, even some watches. So we know that it does hold these properties. It has the ability to store memory, to transmit, and to receive. So it was a perfect focal point, just like you would have a medium that is able to use the third eye ray to focus in a crystal ball. And as they focus on that crystal ball, they can see visions that are being shown to them. But the difference here with the crystal skull is you're looking at the skull that transforms into another person, into another being that is clearly seen without a shadow of a doubt by you sitting in front of it, or even other people that are with you. So you would create this connection to the skull. Energy follows thought, and once the link was there, the being that was attending, either someone that's watching over you or someone that needs to bring you a message, or the community a message, would appear in front of you in the skull. So you may be looking at the skull, but you will start to see the actual face of the entity that is coming through. So, and from this point, as your own energy starts to magnetize and the third eye starts to awaken even more, you will also start to see visions that this entity is showing you. And if the third eye, or if your energies are awakened a little bit further, you will start to hear, in other words, hear telepathy, pick up thoughts, start to understand, start to channel what is actually coming through for you. So this great mystery, where they actually come from, was it aliens that crafted these for humanity, or was it ancient technology that the Mesoamericans had in those times? I can't tell you that, but absolutely for sure, if a crystal was used in this way, for those that know, when your third eye's open, that is really the truth, what is coming through. You are sitting, communicating with someone that is directly in front of you using this crystal skull, but you're actually seeing their true form manifest over it, in it, around it. So instead of just having your eyes closed or trying to focus on a light and communicate with spirit, here you had the focal point that allowed this communication to come through. And it made things quite easy, especially in terms of seeing visions, the clarity, the power that went with it, the phenomena that manifested around the skull. So the priests or the clairvoyants or the initiates would go in here and they would communicate and bring this knowledge to the Mayan high priest to see what information they had brought through from the other dimensions. So it really is as simple as that. The small crystal skulls that people sell these days, those are really ornaments. They don't have power. Yes, the crystals or the gems have power, but unless you're wearing it on your body, close to your skin, in the etheric body, it's not going to emit anything. It's just going to collect dust, really. So we're talking here about the huge crystal skulls that were beautifully crafted, that retain all that memory from thousands of years ago, that one on a sensitive level can access while using these crystal skulls. So I hope that puts the subject to rest for now, and it can actually be proven. So anyone that has a crystal skull like that and uses whatever means to open your third eye, go ahead, give it a try, and you'll actually see for yourself what is manifesting and unfolding in front of you. Please like and subscribe. I've got a lot of interesting posts that are waiting to come on. I need to build up my subscriptions, and hope you enjoyed this post.
La 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 la